So today I'm going to update you guys with a stock that I completely sold out of my position of. I 100% sold out of it, and I'll go through the reasons why, and I'll tell you which stock I bought to replace that stock with. So I hope you enjoy it. Now I've got to say, yesterday I did a video on Palantir, and I'm going to say I upset a few people. I rattled the cage for sure. I didn't just rattle the cage. I rattled the cage, dropped it, and then stamped on it a few times. There were a few people upset in the comment section about my Palantir video, but the echo chamber on YouTube was definitely broken. But hey, you just got to give a different opinion sometimes, and that was my opinion. And it was good to see a little bit of controversy in the comment section. We haven't had that in 2023, 2024 as the stock market's been going up. Beforehand, I loved the little the back and forth between people saying HIMS were going bankrupt, DraftKings were going bankrupt. We don't get them comments anymore, so it was good to see a little bit of spice in that comment section about Palantir, and I definitely upset a few people with that video yesterday. But today I'm going to go on about the stock, so I do hope you enjoyed it, and let's get started. Now, just to let you know, if you are on the Patreon, that's where you get to know my live buy and sell alerts in real time, and as well as that, you can see exclusive content. So yesterday I dropped my US portfolio for February 2024, and you can see how my US portfolio is doing. It's looking pretty good at the moment. Now, before I do get on to the stock I sold and the stock I bought, there's a few little news stories I do want to cover in the video. Enphase having a cracking day today, up 16%, and I've got to say, I looked at the financials and I am shocked, and it seems like to me the market's getting a little frothy. I looked at them Palantir earnings the other day and I was like, I don't think they should have gone up 30%. I looked at Enphase earnings and I was like, how's this stock up 16% today? Now, I think Enphase might come and buy at some point, but I certainly don't think it's off these earnings. There was definitely a few issues. EPS was a miss. Revenue was a miss, a big miss as well. And the revenue was down 58% year over year. Absolutely big drop. And when you look at the guidance for Q1 2024, horrible once again. Revenue to be in the range of 260 million to 300 million. Versus the consensus of 315 million. So you had a company here that absolutely had a horrible earnings, major decline on the revenue, poor Q1 guidance, and yet the stock was up. I mean, a few people saying that maybe it's because they're holding on to profitability. I think this is not a good earnings for Enphase, and I think you would at least want to see some signs of improvement in Enphase, and right now I'm not seeing it. And yeah, I was shocked to see. I've never seen a stock decline this much, 58% year on year on revenue, and then gone up. And on that quarter as well, missed by 25 million, nearly a 10% miss. Absolutely crazy from Enphase. So yeah, really surprised to see that. Earnings, Alibaba, they've actually come out now, but I'm going to save them for another day, maybe tomorrow. Tonight we've got PayPal, Walt Disney, two big earnings coming later tonight, so we'll probably talk about them at some point. Barratt Developments down 8% today. I think it's actually recovered a little bit since I took this screenshot. They said that they are going to be buying Redrow, which was an absolute shock. I did not see this one coming. I was actually a little bit disappointed with Barratt numbers as well today. They brought their, I think it was half year results out today. A little bit disappointed and very surprised to see this from Barratt Developments. But yeah, obviously the stock is tanking a little bit because the update they gave wasn't very good, and maybe a few people a bit surprised and maybe a bit unhappy with the acquisition of Redrow. It's always one of those that when you're buying someone for 2.5 billion and you're actually valued at 4.7 billion, a lot of big acquisitions like this are always taken quite negatively by Wall Street, so maybe not too much of a surprise there. But the company that I did sell is Fortera. I have recently sold my shares in Fortera. Now, I did sell this out for around about a 3% loss. However, with the dividends included, I probably made maybe a little bit of a profit on it. So yeah, about break even I sold Fortera out for. The reason why is I just thought I've got quite a bit of exposure with Barratt Developments already. So I thought that it just didn't sit well in my portfolio having this one in Barratt Developments. And I'd rather buy Barratt, even though I've just said all that about Barratt Developments, I'd rather buy it over Fortera more than likely, and that's probably why you've not seen me buy it that much recently. I mean, focusing on Barratt Development. And as well as that, when I look at the financials, Fortera's financials, I think they're a little bit behind what I was kind of hoping for. But another reason why is the financial health wise. I feel like the balance sheet has got a lot weaker on Fortera. So if you have a look here, they did sit on not much debt at all when I started buying up shares in this one. Since then, the debt has gone up to 66 million. And if you look at the equity as well, the equity was 234 million. It's now down at 211 million. So debt to equity has gone up a ton. When you look at cash and equivalents, the cash and equivalents has gone from about 41 million down to around 16 million. So there's increase in debt. The cash pile's gone down, which I'm not a big fan of. The balance sheet getting a little bit weaker. What also made me a little bit more nervous about Fortera is that no insiders are buying the shares. Now, I made a video a while ago saying that it's not that big of an issue, but the fact that all the other house builders like Redrow, Barratt, Persimmon, Taylor Wimpey, when all these stock prices fell to the floor, and if you look at Barratt Developments, for example, when their share price started falling to the floor in like 2022, there was loads of insiders buying up the shares, and you can see all those insiders that bought made a really good decision, and they're all up on those positions. Fortera hasn't had any insiders buying, and in fact the share price is sitting, well, apart from the recent bounce at the back in the year, it just got worse and worse. And I was thinking, why are all these insiders buying apart from Fortera? And in fact, what made me a little bit more disappointed is actually that the only action that we got from an insider point of view is that the insider sold. The actual CEO sold some shares, and it wasn't a small amount either. He sold 193k worth of shares, which is massive. So I was looking at Fortera and I was like, the balance sheet's getting a little worse, where I'm like, it's not as good as a lot of other house builders out there. There was no insider buying on the dip, but as well as that, insider dumping some shares, which made me nervous about, okay, if he's dumping shares at £1.91, does he feel like this share price is going to go a lot lower? With a combination of already having good exposure with a house builder in the portfolio, a weakening balance sheet, and insiders not buying and actually selling, I thought maybe it's, and I've not really had the confidence to buy in it. I thought, is it time to move it on and look for another opportunity? Now, during this time frame, there has been an opportunity. Team 17, we actually covered this on the Patreon during the stock request. And you guys that were on the Patreon and watched the stock request episode on Team 17, you'd have seen me say, I could own it at the levels it's at. The only thing I'm waiting to see is a trading update. And the reason why this big drop has happened was on a profit warning. The profit warning basically came out and said some of the new games, which this is a company that is an indie game developer and producer of these games, like these titles that you're seeing down here, which, by the way, have fantastic reviews. If you ever go look at the best indie games, you'll always see Team 17 in there. They were a company that had a big profit warning. The profit warning basically came out and said, look, we've got it wrong. We've overhired. Some games that we thought would do very well haven't. It's going to hit us big time. And I was seeing the stock absolutely fall off a cliff. The stock was down 50%. And I was thinking, yeah, okay, you've got the games wrong. It happens sometimes. You think you're going to do better than what they are. They haven't. We're in a tough environment for game sales as well. But then the stock dropped this much. And I was like, wow, it's gone down to £1.55. And I was looking at how low that was. Just to put that into context, it's 31% below where the stock IPO'd over 5 years ago. I was thinking, wow, this is getting really low. But I was just waiting to buy it because I wanted to see another profit update to make sure they weren't going to come out with another profit warning. Team 17, on the 25th of January, they came out with a trading update and they gave no profit warning. They said, look, we've got it basically in line now. We're managing the costs, managing the games, and that gave me a lot of confidence. So I thought, okay, I really think that Team 17 is a good opportunity here on the valuation point of view. Historically, very low. Looks like the company's resolved a lot of the issues that they had. I don't really have the confidence in Fortera. I took the cash out of Fortera and put that directly into Team 17. When I look at Team 17, it's looking at a very good valuation. Growth is normally very good through acquisitions and new games. Profitability wise, throws a lot of profitability off. Obviously, we're going to have the dip because of the profit warning at the moment. But if they go back to what they historically do, which they do historically throw off a lot of great cash. I mean, if you look at the profitability, they throw off nearly 20 million a year. That's really nice. So they throw off a lot of profitability. When you look at the balance sheet, one of the great balance sheets out there on the UK side of it for a gaming company. There's no debt on there, and they sit on 45 million of cash. And when you look at the insider front, insiders were jumping on these shares. You can see all the people that were in the important roles like CEO and chairman of the board, they were buying big stakes in the company. You can see that insiders overall bought around about 500,000 of shares during this time it was having a dip, which is a really good sign of confidence. So I've been wanting to own Team 17 for a while, and this valuation just made a lot of sense. And if they can get back to the old numbers and keep growing, it looks very good. And even in size, we're taking advantage of this dip here. And that's what I did. I sold my Fortera and I bought Team 17. I am currently up on my Team 17 position as it has been rolling up recently. I think I'm up around about 12% on the position. So yeah, I mean, I could buy lower if it does get back into the £1 range. If not, I'm happy to hold my position. I did buy quite a bit of a chunky position because I did switch the full position from Fortera into Team 17. So yeah, I think that was maybe a historic low that we might never see on Team 17 again. So I'm happy I picked it up. If you do want to see a little bit more of a detailed video on Team 17, I do have a video on the Patreon on the stock request, which goes a bit more deeper into like the games, the risks with the company, what I like, where I see the company going, and my longer term outlook into Team 17. So if you want a bit more exposure to that, then it is on the video on the Patreon, sorry for you guys. So do check that out. But yeah, overall, that's the video for today. Shocker from Enphase and is up on the share price. Sold out on my Fortera and bought Team 17. Hope you enjoyed a little update on this video, guys, and I'll see you in a bit.